Hi guys, this is ASMR Nin, and for today's video, I thought I would make a Zelda tier list. I've been a huge fan of the Zelda series ever since 2011, I believe. That's when I bought my 3DS, and I bought Link's Awakening and Ocarina of Time 3D as soon as I got my 3DS, and I've been hooked ever since. I've played every single Zelda game in this list except for Four Swords Adventure. I've never had a chance to play that one, so I won't be ranking it. I also won't be ranking Four Swords because I do have it on my 3DS, but I haven't played it in so long, and I didn't play it for super long either, so I don't think I'm qualified enough to rank that one, but the rest I have played. I remember well, most of them. And yeah, I do believe I'm capable of ranking them to my liking. So yeah, to start off, I am going to rank the original Zelda. Oh, and before I keep going, please tell me if you prefer soft speaking or whispering. Last video I whispered and now I'm soft speaking, so I was just wondering what you guys prefer for next videos. I assume I'm going to keep switching it up and do maybe one of each, but I would still enjoy having feedback on the matter. So without further ado, I'm going to start by ranking the original Legend of Zelda. Now, this is a hard one because, it's the one that started the whole series, but it aged pretty poorly. I first played it back, I think it was also in 2011, 11 or 12, because since I bought my 3DS early, I was part of the 3DS Ambassador program, which means we had 10 free NES games and 10 free GBA games, and this was one of them. This and three Zelda games actually were part of that pack. There was the original Zelda, there was Zelda 2, and there was Minish Cap for the GBA, so yeah. So, the original Zelda, I think, I think I'm gonna put it in C tier. I know people who played it when it first came out. Sorry, people who played it when it first came out back in 1986, I believe, probably hold it dearer to their hearts. But to me, it's just not that sort of game. It was fun, but I couldn't beat it. Uh, not because I wasn't smart enough or anything. Just because it was a little on the boring side, a little on the plain side. But then again, the series had to start somewhere, and I think they did a great job. With the feeling of exploration, of discovering new places on the map. So yeah, I think it was great. But in today's standards, it just doesn't hold up that well. And I mean, as I said, I played it in 2011 when I already played Ocarina of Time 3D. So yeah, some of that maybe played a part in it as well. So Zelda 2, I'm so sorry, but it's gonna have to go in D tier. The original Zelda, I got to like the fifth dungeon or something. This one, I don't even think I beat one single dungeon. It was too hard for my beginner playing skills back in 2011 or 12. Yeah, it doesn't have the same Zelda feel that the other games do, and I get it. Nintendo back in the day, they were trying to make the sequels like a little bit different from the original, like with same thing went with Super Mario Bros. 2. So yeah, with Zelda 2, they went a little of the bean path, and I mean, I know some people like this game, but it's just not my type of game. I'm sorry. So now, A Link to the Past. This might be a controversial placement, but I think I'm gonna put it in B tier. Same kind of reason maybe that I have for the first Zelda. It's because I don't have the same like attachment or nostalgia. I first played it, I think, A Link to the Past. I think I bought it on Wii, and I must have played it first, like pretty much same thing, like around 2011, 12, maybe more than 2012. And I like it. I do like it. It's a lot of fun. Definitely improved on the first Zelda, but it's just not. Well, no, it's still fun. It's still a lot of fun. It's just that I think other 2D Zelda games that I mean I'm gonna cover later on did what A Link to the Past did, but better. But I totally understand why some people have it in S tier. I know it's a huge game. Like the Super Nintendo in general was a very good era for refinement. Like A Link to the Past refined on original Zelda, Super Metroid refined on the original Metroid, Super Metroid, one of my favorite games of all time, by the way. Super Mario World refined on the original Mario Bros. Series. So yeah, I think the SNES was a great era, and A Link to the Past is a great game, but it just doesn't have that same it factor that other 2D Zelda games have for me. Like the dungeons aren't that memorable. The music, though, the music obviously is standout. All Zelda games have great music, but A Link to the Past has a great soundtrack. So yeah, I think that will be it for A Link to the Past. Now, Link's Awakening, another hard one to place. The remake isn't on this list, but I think I'd place them very similarly. I think I'm gonna place it in B tier as well. Love Link's Awakening, but I think it suffers from kind of the same issues as A Link to the Past. You know, the dungeons aren't that memorable. Uh, but same thing can be said. Like it kind of refines on the original Zelda. You know, it's the same formula, but a little bit upgraded, if you will. So yeah, I think B tier is a good place for Link's Awakening. Again, love the soundtrack. I love the story as well. Like at the end of the game, when well, spoilers, but I will probably mention spoilers on other Zelda games, so you've been warned if you haven't played some of them. But at the end, when you wake up and you realize that it was all a dream, but it's kind of cliche. But I still liked it because you know you see the whale in the sky, and I think it's like a secret ending or something where you can see Marion's face. So yeah, I really like the characters in the game. I think it's the first time that they really made the characters more memorable. You know, in Link's Awakening, what characters are memorable? Not Link's Awakening. In A Link to the Past, there aren't that many memorable characters. Like Link's uncle who dies in the beginning. No, not really. I can't recall anyone right now. But Link's Awakening, they had Marion, they had Talon, they had like that. Even that chain chomp was memorable. So yeah, that's what you know. What I think I'll put Link's Awakening before A Link to the Past because I think it did some things better than A Link to the Past. Now onto Ocarina of Time, first 3D Zelda game. Ocarina of Time, as I said, with Link's Awakening were my first Zelda games, but I'm not blinded by nostalgia, if you will, so I will put Ocarina of Time in D tier. I'm just kidding. I will put it in A tier because I don't think it's a perfect game. I think that other Zelda games, you know, same thing with the original Zelda, other Zelda games have refined the 3D Zelda formula, but come on. The way they started the 3D Zelda series, if you will, so good. Ocarina of Time is a classic. I believe it is rated it has the highest Metacritic score for any video game. So yeah, it's a classic. People love Ocarina of Time. I mean, it really was the blueprint, if you will. Other 3D Zelda games only built from there. The characters are memorable. The world is memorable. The gameplay is fun. The dungeons are super memorable. I think the only reason why it's not an S tier for me is because it's very formulaic, if you will. I mean, most Zelda games, not Breath of the Wild, but most Zelda games are very formulaic. But this one just feels a little more plain. Sorry, probably because it was the first. Obviously, they had to start from somewhere. But yeah, like it feels very. You know, you got your forest temple. You got your fire temple, your water temple, sand temple. It's very that, you know. So yeah, I think A tier is a good place for Ocarina of Time. Legendary game, love it. I replayed it earlier this year, like back in May or June, on the 3DS, and it was still as much fun as it was back in the day. So yeah. Now on to Majora's Mask. Where do I put it? Where do I put it? It's an S tier. Majora's Mask. My God, I cannot speak. Majora's Mask is my favorite Zelda game. One of my favorite games of all time. I love Majora's Mask. I first played it. I downloaded it on the Wii back in like 2013 or something. Back when Chugga Conroy did an LP of it, I watched some episodes of that and I was like, oh, I have to play the game for myself. So yeah, I downloaded it on the Wii and I was not disappointed. Majora's Mask is a fantastic game. Yeah, there are only 4 dungeons, but the side quests, like, for some reason, it's weird. For some reason, side quests are never like my favorite part in games, but Majora's Mask, that game just makes it so the side quests are part of the main quest. You know, the characters are also the best characters in any Zelda game, hands down to me. Like, yeah, they were just uh rebuild from Ocarina of Time, if you will. It was all the same models, but I feel like Majora's Mask just uh, gave them life. You know, Ocarina of Time, yes, they were memorable, but they were a little stale, if you will. Majora's Mask gave them backstories, they gave them personalities, they gave them, like, you know, on the third day when the moon's about to fall, they made them scared for their lives. Yeah, so I think Majora's Mask nailed it on the characters. So many memorable characters, so many sad stories. Like I can't remember the names, but the oh yeah, the Romani sisters at the ranch. Like the fact that the big sister basically gives her small sister alcohol, so her senses are numbed before the moon falls. Like that hits that hits hard. So yeah. Also, the dungeons are great. Stone Tower Temple, one of the best dungeons in Zelda history. The music is phenomenal, of course. The atmosphere is to me, it's the best atmosphere in the whole Zelda series. The story is great. About Skullkin wanting to make the moon fall down, but he's possessed by Majora's Mask. I don't know. Majora's Mask to me, not a flawless game. It has its flaws, but it is a 10 out of 10 in my heart. I love, 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 love Majora's Mask. Now, on to, I guess I'll talk about them in a bundle. On to Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages. I like them. Also played them on the 3DS back when they came out on the eShop. Don't remember what year it was. I like them, but they're nothing special to me. I'll put them in B tier after A Link to the Past. Now they brought in some pretty interesting puzzles, but out of all these games are probably the ones I remember the least. Like I can barely I remember in one of them there was like an underwater dungeon, and I remember their gimmicks, you know, with changing the seasons and changing from past to future, but I can barely remember them. I've only played them once each. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I remember enjoying them. I remember having fun with Seasons and Ages. I don't remember being like irritated or something playing them, so I'll put them in B tier. But at the same time, they were pretty unmemorable, which means I can't remember much from them. So I think B tier is an appropriate tier for them, because D tier would just mean unplayable. C tier would mean good, but not that much fun. And I remember having fun with them, so I think B is good for them. All right, now on to Wind Waker. I think this is going to be my most controversial placement today. I'm going to put it in B tier. Upper B tier, though. Can I not? Okay, there you go. Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of gold. I just noticed up here, Zelda loves its gold colors. Oh, well. It stops from here on out, so good. But yeah, Wind Waker, upper B tier. I put it there because I first played Wind Waker. It wasn't that long ago. I believe it was 2018. I don't know why it took me so long to play Wind Waker, but yeah, so maybe it's because I don't have as much nostalgia towards Wind Waker as some people do, and as much nostalgia as I feel towards like Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time or Link's Awakening. Well, I did put it higher than Link's Awakening, but you know what I mean. So yeah, Wind Waker upper B tier. I really enjoyed my time with Wind Waker, but I just don't think it's as good as Ocarina of Time. And I know this is an old complaint that many people have, but I think the boat traveling, it's a little slow. I didn't play the HD Wii U version. I never owned a Wii U. I played the original GameCube version, and yeah, the sailing was pretty slow. It takes time to get from point A to point B. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I had a lot of fun, but to me, it wasn't that memorable. Ugh, I don't know. Is it B tier or is it? I'm really hesitating. You know what? I think no. I think upper B tier is a little harsh. I'll put it lower A tier. I think that fits my idea of the game better. I really now that I'm thinking more about it, I really like Wind Waker. It's just out of all the 3D Zelda games, it's my least favorite. Maybe because of nostalgia that I have towards the other games. I don't know, but yeah, I think lower A tier is good for it. It's just that I feel like the pacing was a little off as well compared to like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Skyward Sword. I feel like the pacing was off, but overall it was a really fun game. So yeah, lower A tier I think fits it well. Now Minish Cap, another surprising placement for some people maybe. Minish Cap is S tier for me. It's my favorite 2D Zelda game. I just love the graphics. I think the graphics are super cute. Love the music, love the dungeons. I still remember like that snow icy dungeon, really fun. The one in the sky also. Oh, the one in the woods, where you're like in a barrel and stuff like that. One's cool. Uh, I think it's just super memorable. I haven't played this game in like 5 years maybe, and I still remember many details about it. I also love the I don't remember what it's called, but the thing where you got like a medallion separated in two, and you meet people in the world, and you try to like glue the two parts of the medallion together. That was also really cool in my opinion. As though I think he's a good sidekick. Refreshing also to have another villain than Ganondorf as a main villain. Vati was cool, although not that memorable, but it's still refreshing. So yeah, Wind Waker to me, best 2D Zelda game. Love. Minish Cap. Did I say Wind Waker? I mean Minish Cap. I don't know. But yeah, Minish Cap, best 2D Zelda game. Love it to bits. Twilight Princess. That's gonna be an S tier to me. Love Twilight Princess. My only gripe with the game is that it feels a little on the long side, like unnecessarily long. Like they could have. I mean, I'm saying they could have cut a dungeon, but one of the game's biggest strengths is its dungeons. Twilight Princess has some fantastic dungeons, some of the best in the series, in my opinion. Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, the strongest dungeons in the series, I believe. Yeah, I like Twilight Princess. Only thing is that the characters are not as memorable as in, let's say, Wind Waker, Majora's Mask, even Ocarina of Time. The characters are not that memorable. But I think the dungeons are super fun. The world is fun. The soundtrack is amazing. So yeah, I think S here. I don't know if I like it more than Minish Cap. I don't think. I think I have more fun with Minish Cap than I have with Twilight Princess. So yeah, the soundtrack in Twilight Princess is amazing. Like City in the Sky, I love that song. I know it irritates some people because of the sound of the cuckoos. I can't remember their name or how it's pronounced, but yeah, the chicken with with heads creatures, the weird things. The sound they make. I know some people don't like it that it's in the City in the Sky song, but I love it. The Hyrule Field is also super good as a song. Um, I know I love the whole soundtrack. I can't think of any more songs, but the soundtrack is super good. Phantom Hourglass. Now, a hot take. I'm gonna put it in C tier, upper C tier. Phantom Hourglass to me is like Wind Waker's. Well, not to me. I think most people's opinions is that it's Wind Waker's little sister, but I think it failed on many aspects. I still had fun playing it, but the sailing to me was even more boring than in Wind Waker. Uh, I haven't played that one in a while. I beat it twice, but I haven't played it in so long, so I don't remember everything about the game. But the Temple of the Ocean King or something, whatever is the dungeon that you go back to many times, so boring, and you have to do it so many times in the game. Uh, and you have to start from the beginning, something that Spirit Tracks improved. Spirit Tracks didn't do that, but in this one, you have to start back from the beginning every single time. It's just so infuriating. So yeah, I remember the dungeons being okay. I remember the exploration being okay, but the rest it didn't cut it in my opinion. So yeah, I'm putting Phantom Hourglass in C tier. Also the soundtrack, can't remember a single song from the soundtrack. Spirit Tracks. I'm actually playing Spirit Tracks for the. Oh, sorry. I'm playing Spirit Tracks for the first time right now. I haven't beaten it yet, but I'm super duper close. So I figured it was okay if I ranked it. Um, where do I put Spirit Tracks? I'd put it here. Maybe it's because I'm playing it right now, but to me it's more memorable than the Oracle games. But it's not as much of a classic as, let's say, A Link to the Past or Link's Awakening. So yeah, I feel pretty confident in putting it here. Spirit Tracks to me improved a lot of things on Phantom Hourglass. I know some people have an issue with the. Sorry, give me a second. Okay, guys, sorry, I'm back. So yeah, as I was saying, I think some people have an issue with the train thing, but to me, I think it was pretty fun. Like they made it at least a little interactive, because you can change your route as you go. You can defeat enemies. Uh, my only gripe is that the sometimes when you got like enemy trains on the tracks, they're like unavoidable, and sometimes you get cornered or something, and it's just so infuriating. You can't do anything about it, and you have to go back to your last like checkpoint that you were at. So yeah, that's pretty infuriating. But apart from that, the dungeons have been cool. The exploration has been cool. The soundtrack is pretty good. I love the. I don't remember the name of the town, but like Papuchi or something. The town that's in the ocean realm. I love the song of that village. Yeah, the bosses have been fun. The dungeons are great as well. So yeah, I don't have many gripes with Spirit Tracks. It's just maybe a little plain, I guess you could say. It's not like exciting. It's not as exciting as like Ocarina of Time or the my S tier games here. But it's still a really fun game, a fun adventure. So I think B tier is where it fits. Now Skyward Sword. Uh, Maybe another controversial placement, but I will put Skyward Sword in D tier. I'm joking, in S tier. Yeah, I'd say I'd put it before Minish Cap. I know many people have issues with Skyward Sword. I know it's a very polarizing game. People either love it or hate it. Personally, love, love, love Skyward Sword. As I said when I talked about Twilight Princess, I think it has one of the strongest sets, sorry, sets of dungeons in the whole series. I like that. They're just so much fun. The ancient cistern, I think it's called, is fun. The sand ship is fun. The two fire dungeons are great. Yeah, I think that the dungeons are the best part of the game for sure, and the exploration too. It is a little bit of a setback that there are only 3 explorable areas, but I think they're also developed in a really really great way, and I love revisiting them. Like you go back to every area 3 times, I think, and all 3 times you either visit new areas or something different happens. Like I love 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 when the Ferrore Forest, I can't remember what it's called, but the forest area. I love when you go back to it and it's like flooded and you have to collect the music notes. That's so much fun to me. Stuff like that makes the game very memorable to me. And also in the fire area, when you go back in, it's like a stealth mission to get back all your items. That's also so much fun to me. Yeah, and the motion controls to me, they were never a huge issue. Uh, and it made for some interesting puzzles. Let's just say that. So yeah, Skyward Sword. Oh, also one other thing. The soundtrack is, as usual, great. The characters also I loved Fi, and popular opinion, not unpopular at all, but I think it also had the best iteration of Zelda, if you will. I love the personality they gave Zelda. She had so much character compared to the other games. Well, I guess Spirit Tracks she also has a lot of personality, but I think Skyward Sword Zelda is the best Zelda we've had yet. And oh, also, along with Majora's Mask, I think it has the best story in the entire Zelda series. I love the story, and it is also the only Zelda game that's made me cry at the end when like Fi goes back to sleep and well, spoilers. When Fi goes back to sleep in the sword, and like Zelda gives her bracelet to Impa, and then you go back to the present and you see that, oh my god, the old lady was Impa all along. Moments like that, the ending of Skyward Sword really made me cry a few man tears. Let's just say that. So yeah, Skyward Sword S tier, love. A Link Between Worlds, I will put it in the A tier, second best 2D Zelda game, I believe. A Link Between Worlds, really fun game. I think it improved on A Link to the Past. I know people view A Link to the Past as a classic, but I think A Link Between Worlds improved on the original game it's based on. Soundtrack is amazing. The Laurel Castle theme, amazing. No, everything about that game is great. It just doesn't have that oomph, that it factor that could bring it to S tier, kind of similar to Ocarina of Time. You know, it feels very like the basics. You know, like I don't know how else to put it, but it doesn't have that thing that can put it above the A tier to me. One thing I will say though, it was kind of a precursor to Breath of the Wild in a sense, because it's the first game where you can do things out of order, if I remember correctly. And you got like the system where you can borrow items, and then you go to a region and you do the dungeon in that region. I thought that was super cool. Like you can just play the game in any order you want. So yeah, kind of a precursor to Breath of the Wild in that sense. So yeah, A Link Between Worlds was great. I have to replay it again soon. I beat it like twice, two or three times, I think. But all of my playthroughs are really close one to another. So it's been a long time since I've played it. So I should play it again. Now, Triforce Heroes. Girl, that was a flop. C tier. Don't really like Triforce Heroes. I played it. I mean, I pretty sure I like 100%ed it. Like I did everything that could be done in Triforce Heroes, but it just has so many issues. Like the fact that, first of all, if you play alone, which I mean, I have lots of friends. I'm not a loser. I feel like I'm gonna say that every video, but I have lots of friends. But none of my friends like own a 3DS except for one of my friends, but she's not like a Zelda fan. Like I don't have anyone I can play Triforce Heroes with, and also my Wi-Fi back when I got the game, it was really bad. So I couldn't play online because I kept getting disconnected. So I had to play alone. It's just not the same. So for that flaw alone, I'm putting it here. I think it's a flawed game. The levels and stuff, they get really redundant. I still had fun playing it, but it's bottom C tier for me. It's just not a great game. And now for the final game, Breath of the Wild. Probably the game in the series that got the most acclaim after Ocarina of Time. So it's fitting to put it. Nope. It's my second favorite Zelda game. I've only beaten it once, but I think I got the whole how can I say, the whole package. I did all the shrines. I didn't collect all the Korok seeds, sorry, because who has time for that? Not me, that's for sure. But I did everything else there was to do in the game, and I love the world, like the fact that you can just freely explore, the fact that you can do the dungeons out of order, do them however you want. The Just everything about this game is great, a masterpiece, truly a masterpiece. I feel like when I was playing it, sometimes I was like a little bored, maybe, but like especially towards the beginning. But I feel like the game gets uh, more and more interesting as you go more fun, as you collect newer weapons, your armor. So yeah, I think that that's one of the game's um, fallbacks, but at the same time qualities, because the beginning is a little boring, but as you go, it's like, oh yes, I'm making progress, and that's what's great about it. Uh, and yeah, it's very. I like how Link is super like customizable. I like that. I like the food you can make. I like. I guess the dungeons were a weak part of the game, but pretty much the only weak part of the game. Everything else is super strong. Except maybe the characters. Yeah, I guess that's another gripe I have with the game. The characters are not that memorable. And the story is barely there. But the game is really about the gameplay. You know, it's really about like exploration, about finding new areas, like the joy of just finding a shrine. Like nothing can be compared to that. Nothing compares to that. Uh, it's just so rewarding. Like finding new spots, finding a new area, finding a new like the towers. Nothing beats that. So yeah, Breath of the Wild, second favorite Zelda game for me. And as I said, I'm not going to be ranking the two Four Swords games. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for sticking with me for the whole video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, please subscribe, and please comment. And I will be joining back for another video in the next few days, hopefully. So thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye bye.